Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Health is Wealth Friday podcast. If everybody's watching this on YouTube, on our Facebook page, and on my own personal page as well, my name is Coach Benny. That's BENYBLAQ from Rebel Fit, the owner of Rebel Fit. And every Friday, I get on here and I bring on one of my members or special guests to talk about their health and wellness journey and what they've done in this process to not only see the results that they see, but also share with you some of their struggles along this journey, as some of you may be able to relate to that as well. So, as always, you guys know what to do. Comment to help us grow. If you're watching this live on the replay, type live in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, type replay in the comments. So live, type live. If you're watching this later on replay, put replay in the comments. Also, follow us on social media platforms at Rebel Fit USA on Facebook and on Instagram. Give us a like there as well. And also, you can follow me on Instagram at Benny Black. And my information is all up in the screen. So also, last but not least, make sure you share. If you're watching this right now, we ask that you to share with your family, friends, and loved ones to get this information. Because like I said, the more people who get this information, the better it is, and the more we can help to create a more healthier community, not only here in the Woodbridge area, but all over the world as well. So I have a very, very special guest today. And this show is going to be, I don't even know how this is going to go. I'm going to be honest with y'all, because this is my family right now. This is my assistant. And we have planned on doing something like this together. We still may, we'll talk about this when I bring her on. But she's family to me, as well as being a client, and she's been a client for God knows how long now. And I've been in her butt for years. It's different when you're talking to like a regular client, but when you're talking to fam, you're trying to get them healthy. And it's just like, you see them all the time. They're at your house. We do all our family functions and everything together, and you see how they are. And then they be like, I want to do this. And then you just be looking at them like, what are you talking about? What are you doing right now? Right. So it's going to be quite interesting to bring her on and talk about this. Hopefully I don't have to kick her off the street. We gonna act up. I already know we gonna act up. But ladies and gentlemen, give it up to my sis Victoria one time in the building. And she's quite a personality as well. She has her own podcast, so she's used to doing it. She's not regular. So if she gets too crazy, I'm gonna have to tame her down a little bit.
I'm not crazy.
Yes, whatever. So, Vic, not that I don't know any of this stuff, but first of all, how are you?
I am blessed and highly favored.
You're what? You're blessed and
blessed and highly favored. No, I'm great. I'm actually good. I'm still on this weight loss journey because I still have goals I want to meet.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about this weight loss journey and what kind of made you. I know when you told me that you lost so much weight, I was kind of shocked.
I was too.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I mean, not that I wasn't trying to, but I think I just didn't expect it to actually happen. I have been trying for so long, but.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Shout out to Angie. Today is her birthday.
Hi, Angie. Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday today. I saw it in the group. I got to post it. I just saw it a couple minutes ago. But happy birthday, Angie. Getting old out here. Me and Angie I got to get Angie on here too. Like, me and Angie got a really funny story that we share in common. Every time I see her, I bring it up in the gym that she has a couple of hiccups one day. We laugh about that. Y'all know how I do, but Angie's fan as well. But yeah, Vic. So let's talk a little bit about you. Tell everybody about, not that I don't know this, but tell everybody about yourself and where you're from and what kind of work you do and your lifestyle. Like, what do you go? Like, tell them all about your podcast. Like, tell us about that.
So I am originally from Columbus, Ohio. That's where I was born and raised. I've been in the DMV area since, I guess you should say, almost 10 years, maybe 10 years. I work a job in organizational development. I don't even want to explain what I do because, like, it's just, yeah, but it's corporate basically. So I do that, but I also do real estate. I also, like you said, I have a podcast called the V-List Podcast. So you can check that out on all streaming networks.
And what is that about?
It's a podcast about everything from A to V. I mean, literally, I just talk about whatever I want to talk about at the time or whatever's inspiring to me. And the reason why I call it the V-List Podcast is because I'm also an actress. And so a lot of times people will be like, oh, are you on anything that I know? And I'm like, no, I'm on the V-List. I'm on the V-List, but it's all good. So yeah, so that's kind of what I do. Just a little bit of creative stuff and then, work stuff so I can sustain my life.
I have some of Victoria's headshots from her.
No, you don't. Vinny likes to take pictures and create memes from them, and they're not my headshots. They are not official. So if you see anything floating around in a pink dress, that is not official, and report it as spam. Please report it as spam.
Oh man, okay. Yo, so tell us a little bit about your life and some of your struggles. Like before. I mean, when you started training, whatever before. I mean, even now, like tell us about some of those struggles and what you always struggle with your. I mean, because you're pretty transparent about your weight loss journey, your health. You and I have had many conversations about self-talk, and I made a video about that today, talking about watch how you talk to yourself, and you know how I get with you when you start talking away. But talk a little bit about that and how some of that has changed over the years.
So yeah, that has been a major change. I would say that's actually been probably the most important change for me, because I've always been, I guess you could say, thick or whatever. I'm short, I've been stacked my whole life, but I never paid attention to my weight. It was never an issue for me until I became like, once I hit like 30,
right?
It was like, whoa, I got, a little bit more than I would like. And I think I also went through a couple of just like, I mean, I'm a woman, so my body goes through changes, and there are things that you can't, habits that you can't keep up because your body's going to change. And I went through life changes, I was divorced and everything. And so I think I had a lot of like emotional baggage and things that I just never really talked about. And I would just eat and not be disciplined. And then I would not like the way I looked or felt even after I had gained, a lot of weight. I got up to like in the 200s, and it just wasn't normal for me, and it didn't feel right for me. I didn't feel right. So I would be
How was your energy though? Like, how was your energy during that time? Because I know what it was like, and the reason I'm asking you to share that is because a lot of women probably experience that same kind of thing. But like, what are some of the things you would tell yourself or do, or those types of things to kind of?
Well, like I didn't have very high energy levels. I mean, right. I've always been an energetic person, but when it comes to like actually putting forth energy to work out or exercise, it wasn't that I just didn't have a lot to give. And I think it was because I was self-defeating. I felt like this is too hard, and I wasn't used to having to work out or having to do extra. So it was hard. It was hard making myself, put forth energy. And so I had to of don't be lazy, like literally don't be lazy. And once I started changing the way that I thought and the way that I talked to myself, it literally did help me kind of create more habits. And so I started working out. When I joined Rebel Fit, I started working out, and that was fine because then my body kind of got, once you start working out, you start getting used to that feeling. And then if you stop working out, like you feel it. It's like a weird effect. It's almost like a drug kind of. So you kind of feel like I need to like work out. So working out then became a habit, but then my eating never really changed. So
I know this because my house is the.
Well, you was eating with me. So you was eating with me.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. I was. We was all beer bellied up together.
For sure, fat and happy.
We was beer bellied up together.
But that was important. You know, once I got the nutrition part down, and I still, to be honest with you, I still don't have the nutrition part down. You know, because I do what feels good to me, but I have just imposed more limits on myself. So I am telling the truth, Andrea. I have imposed a few more limits, like and other habits like water. I drink a lot. I'm on 64 today.
Okay. Me too. I got mine too, right here.
It's my 32-ounce bottle. Mm-hmm. This is my second one of the day. Yeah, so like, but you know what? Honestly, what really changed for me, and I know this is gonna sound cliche or whatever, but it was the pandemic. Like, it literally was everything shutting down and me being forced to kind of just sit with myself and figure out what I needed to do for me. And I didn't have the excuse of like traveling all the time. You know, I was a consultant. I traveled every week for work. I was literally on a plane every Monday and every Wednesday going to clients and working. And I would be tired. I wouldn't want, like, even if I go to the gym and the hotel and, you know, work out or whatever, do one of the Rebel Fit classes or even do like a hour on a treadmill or whatever, I still would like not be eating right, or I'd be going to happy hour and drinking a lot of wine and or not eating enough. And, you know, so that was like my struggle. But during the pandemic, I was able to really actually be on a routine that felt right for me, but also my eating, I was able to eat what felt right for me and kind of really monitor what I was eating.
So that pandemic moment that was your moment, or what was that moment where you were sitting with yourself, and was it like you tried a pair of jeans on? Did you like hear me say something to you? Did one of the kids? I'll tell you one of the things for me was, you know, like the twins. Like I always tell this story, like the twins got like, Pop, you're fat, right? Like they came on my belly and was like tap my belly, was like Pop, you're fat. And I was like, what? like what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? And then Eli jumping in with that as well. So it was kind of like, it was like that moment for me. Like, what was that moment for you where you were just like, yo, like enough is enough?
Yeah, I mean, the kid, thank God the twins they never called me fat. so I think I was okay there. But it was just me, like I said, sitting down and really kind of being forced to just look at my life in general as a whole. I was, you know, by myself, you know, at home and stuck in the house. And it was like, okay, so what can you do during this time to like really improve? And it was just like tightening up on, you know, my nutrition and tightening up on everything. Though it was a full transformation. It was spiritual, it was physical. Like I got, you know, I did more meditation, more journaling, more praying, everything. So it was a full transformation.
You talk about the stuff that you had to implement. What are some of the things that you had to remove to become a better version of yourself?
Negative self-talk. I had to remove that, and I've gotten a lot better at that, but sometimes it still tries to creep in.
Oh yeah, you do, but you have gotten better. But yes,
but I've gotten better, but it is definitely negative self-talk. It was more, you know, meditation and journaling because it helps me focus and what my goals are.
What was that?
I don't know. That was like my computer was processing.
Yeah, listen. Just don't start snorting. As long as you don't start snorting, we get.
I can't help it.
Okay, I don't start snorting over here. This is a family show. This is a family show. You can't be snorting.
What is snorting?
What?
Anyway, it was definitely like, because I'm not even gonna say like that I don't eat what I want, because I do. I still eat what I want. But I know I just have limits, and I'm a little bit more disciplined. And then working out, I like, for real, when I get lazy and I don't want to work out, then I don't. Like, I do allow myself those days where I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything. I'm not going to do anything. But I also know my body, like, I'm not going to go for too long without working out, because again, it's like you start feeling weird when you don't.
Like, it's like a pattern thing. It's like we are creatures of habit after a while.
Yeah.
So once you break that cycle, once you break that habit, it's extremely hard to get back on track if you go too long without. Like for me, 2 days now is like after 2 days, I'm like, nah, B.
Mine's more like, yeah, like around three days. I'm like,
It's
okay,
more
I
like
need
3 weeks. Like
no, it's like 3 days. But I start to feel like, okay, I need to move, but you know me, I'll just get up and start twerking or something. I mean, that's the exercise. I like to dance, I do like to dance around the house. And then also I just remember, like, instead of me like negatively talking about myself, if there's something that I don't like about myself, like in the mirror, if I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, okay, I don't be like, oh girl, that's horrible. I just be like, you can't afford surgery. So go to the gym.
Well, you should be talking about it though.
I can't afford.
Listen, let me tell you something.
If there's any sponsors of your show who would like to sponsor,
we're not doing that. No, we ain't doing that.
who would like to sponsor?
I heard my other tips. They be always talking about Dr. Miami. Like, you always hear that in my house. Like,
I mean,
hey, Dr. Miami. They always be watching the show. Tiff be watching the dang on surgery shows. They always talk about Dr. Miami. What?
Get it how you live, but I can't afford it, and so that's why I have to go to the gym.
Okay, good. Let's just stick to that. Okay, let's stick to the gym.
But I've been doing good though, and my booty has been growing. Okay, on its own. Thank you, Rebel Fit. Shout out to Rebel Fit, Emily, Coach M. She be getting me right. I'm telling you, I had no booty, and it started to grow. I'm a witness.
Speaking of which, because I don't want to talk about your booty no more, please. I don't. I'm trying to keep this PG. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get through this. I'm trying to get through this. And we talk about now we get on your tail. I don't understand how we got on that. But anyways.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about what you loved about the program. Like, what have you loved about, being a part of our community? Other than me. See, because you get it both ways. Like, you get it here in the gym, and then when you come out my house, it's a whole different.
Yeah. No, outside of you, I think from day one, honestly, what I've loved about Rebel Fit is the community aspect, and it's an accountability factor for me, because I had a. What did you laugh?
Yeah, I'm just go ahead. What did you say, man? Go ahead.
I had a trainer before I joined Rebel Fit, and I mean, it was cool, whatever, but like, I didn't feel like that accountability, or even that like friendly competition, or just the encouragement from the people like at the gym. So like going to the gym, I may not even talk to these people outside of the gym, but when I go there, they're like family, and it's like we're all pushing each other, we're all working out, struggling together, and it definitely is the community aspect. And then even outside of like just the workout classes, yes, Peach. Anyway, even outside of the workout classes, like the community things that we do, like the Christmas parties and the Rebel Fit, the what do you call the what was those, the kickballs and stuff days? What's those called?
Fitnic.
Yes, the Fitnics. Like all of that stuff is encouraging, and it's encouraging also to see like the plethora and the age ranges and the demographic range. Like that's really helpful for me, because it allows you to go to a place where you actually fit and belong. Like going to an actual gym can be very, like, not an actual gym, not like Rebel Fit ain't an actual gym, but you know what I mean? Like on the big box gym. Yeah. That can be very intimidating, because you got, fine ass men in there working out, and you up here jiggling on the treadmill. and then you got like tight little bodies in there. Well, it's just like, I can't do this stuff y'all doing, and I'm trying to look cute too. So I love Rebel Fit for that reason. I ain't gotta be cute for nobody.
So you just show up and
show up and show out.
You just show up with your bonnet on and your two-piece and your bonnet.
I sure can.
You just show up looking like,
and do.
Well, everybody, Victoria ain't looking for a husband at Rebel Fit, clearly.
No, everybody at Rebel Fit got a husband already. I need y'all to find y'all's friends who got sugar daddy money though, because I need,
Okay.
Tell them to call me.
What would old Vic? Oh Lord. What would old Vic tell the new, or what would the new Vic tell the old Vic of, the person who was lacking self-esteem, the the person who was, or just not even the old Vic, the person who's watching this right now, that's lacking self-esteem, that's not confident about going to the gym like you said, but wanting to get healthy but hesitant. Like, just think about who you were before. What would this new person with the big butt and all of that tell that person then to do at this point in stage in life? Like, how would you talk to that person if you were face to face with that old Vic right now, the flat booty Vic?
I would say
the flat booty Vic.
I would say that we're all in this together, and we got you. Like you're never gonna not feel supported. And if I knew that, I mean, now that I know that, but knowing that going in, I think is a big thing for a lot of people. They just need to feel that support. And and it's like, you didn't get this way overnight, so it's not gonna happen overnight, but it will happen. You just gotta stay consistent. And so yeah, now my booty is growing. It's still not where I want it to be, but it's a little something back there, and I'm proud of it.
What is some of your struggles that you still have now? Even, I mean, well, first of all, how much weight have you lost? Let's just talk about that.
So I've lost a little over 35 pounds. And I was like, I started, and I didn't even know. And that was the other thing. I really hate weighing myself. Like I did not like doing that. And I would even skip out on the assessment days. Like, I'm still big. That's all y'all need to know. Y'all don't need to be knowing my measurements and all that. I know that I still got work to do. No, thank you. But I actually had to get on the scale and come to like realization of like how much weight I had gained. And I had gotten over 200 pounds.
Right. And
that's when I said, like, during the pandemic, it was like, a couple challenges that went off. I'm horrible at challenges, first of all, because I don't know. I'm not that disciplined. I need to be able to do me. So, but I was really like, all right, I'm just going to really try to stick to these challenges and stick to this working out and stick to this eating, as healthy and as proportionate as I can. And I wasn't weighing myself because I think that was the mental block for me. It was like, if I'm getting on the scale and I see it's not, where I want it to be, it's going to be discouraging for me. So I stopped weighing myself. And then all of a sudden, like towards the end of the year is like, I think it was like around October-ish. We were about to do, I think, I don't know, was there a challenge or something that was going on? And I weighed myself and I was like, what? Like I like kept getting on the scale. Like, wait a minute, is this right? And then I had to go back to like my old pictures and like compare and contrast. And I was like, dang, I've legit lost 35 pounds. So then I started setting new goals. And I'm like, so now I have like, okay, if I can lose 35 pounds in less than a year, because it wasn't even a year,
right?
Do that in less than a year, like I can really stay disciplined and just keep doing what I've been doing and just like step it up a little bit to get to like my another goal. And I will actually set like a scale goal for myself.
So what I'm hearing, and which is pretty dope. So the fact that one, you didn't want to step on the scale because you didn't want to face the reality of what that number would have been or where you are right now. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. They struggle with the fact that they don't want to know where they are. And because they don't want to know where they are, they have this constant fear of checking or knowing what their status is.
Yeah.
Right? And the only way that you're going to know where you are or know where you need to go is to know where you are. Right. Yeah. But there's a whole mindset around the number that's on the scale. And I've literally talked about this for the last 3 weeks that I've been doing this. But there's a whole mindset condition about the number on the scale. And once you put that away and you fell in love with the process, like you
I felt.
Yeah.
It wasn't even so much because, like I said, I wasn't weighing myself, so it was just like, I feel good, and then we ain't got nothing else to do, so I'm in the house. I'm going to this feels good. I feel better. And then I started to notice that, I'm looking a little bit better. And then for me, it was, I really noticed like in my face.
Right.
And because my body, I mean, it's still, like I said, I'm gonna look at my body and be critical and be like, oh, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be whatever. But like my face, I started looking at old pictures. And then when people would see you and they'd be like, you lost some weight. And then I was like, okay, maybe I have. And then I got on the scale and was like, oh, bitch, yeah, you did. So now that's encouraging though. So now it's like, just keep going. I'm gonna keep going and challenging myself, but not challenge. I'm being realistic with myself though, in my limits. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna stop eating French fries. Shout out to homegirl left from last week. More proud to you, but girl, I ain't giving up no French fries. I'm sorry, they're part of my life. Just not every day.
Yeah, every day. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. Right.
Yeah. Because I want to be, and you always say this too, like, we be trying all kind of little stuff, what is it, 30, what is it called? No 30 or something.
Listen, let me
all
tell you something. Let me tell you something about this. Let me tell you something. So it's a trio of these three, right? And what they do is they get together and they decide.
Where's the ringleader?
Yeah, and they get together and they stay on the internet and group chat. And what they do is look at this new diet that I done found, right? And so they'll take this diet and they'll say, let's do it together, right? Let's just do it all together.
I never do it.
Right? And then that joint is like, I'm affected because it's in my house. So now I'm like, what is this?
Whole 30.
Like,
Whole 30. That's what
like, this is Whole 30. This is what we're doing now for the next 30 days. I'm like, wait, what? What?
I couldn't do it. What? It's too extreme for me. And I just, I'm not an extremist. So I can never do those things. And so that really, that really did. Yeah, he's telling all the business. But that really did help me though. Like, even though I know you was like, don't do these little fad diets and stuff. You got to do something that's sustainable. They're not sustainable.
Right.
And it's true. And I would use that as an excuse at the time not to join. Like, it's not sustainable. I can't do this, so I'm not doing it. But it was actually true. So I had to figure out,
Vic be like, let's eat spinach. It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
I don't want. When you eat some French fries and drink some wine, that's
sustainable.
You sustain that for a while.
The Lord has kept me. Amen. On French fries and wine. So
French fries and wine.
And bacon. Okay, yeah. I have but that's the thing. I eat what I like, but I do it in moderation. Oh, yeah. Like, I'm gonna do, like, they talk about me now because I was for a minute. I guess I was intermittent fasting. I didn't know I was intermittent fasting. I just would wake up and all I really wanted was coffee and bacon. So if I have coffee and bacon, I'm like, maybe I should pay attention to like how many pieces of bacon I eat, or I also need to make sure that I'm eating my carb and eating a fat, or so just doing what felt good to me, but like making it make sense and not overindulging. Like, I'm not gonna wake up and eat French fries in the morning. I could, if I wanted to, but
or wine. Right.
No, I don't have wine. Listen, I'm not a wino.
Right. Or and this, I can make these jokes now because both of us have lost a good amount of weight. But there was times like Vic and I would be like the first. Well, Vic would be the first, and like we have Thanksgiving. We have Christmas.
Don't you sit on this thing and lie.
Vic could be the first person in line before the kids, before the kids eat. Everybody and me and Vic could be fighting to see who's gonna be the first person to eat, or I'll be downstairs and Vic be eating before me. Like, but I say all of that to say is like, you don't really realize how unhealthy your lifestyle is until you kind of like look back on it and see how we used to eat and see how things have changed. You know what I mean? Like, so it's once you get past a certain point, and like you said, once it becomes something like that's addictive to you and something that it becomes a new addiction. So your habits aren't no longer gouging, because that's what we used to do. We used to literally gouge on food to the point where we would be like, y'all make fun of me all the time because I'll eat, and then next thing you know, I'm asleep for the rest of the holiday. Right?
Knocked out.
Like, you know what I mean? But it was just a pattern of just like bad recyclable habits and just low self-esteem with yourself. And if you want to change that at some point, you got to make some changes in your life to kind of, turn that whole thing around and realize that everything or every energy or everything that you go through, the outlet isn't food. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, like, I know you asked me this earlier, but like, I for real would say this to probably my earlier self and anybody who is struggling, like, is just to not be so hard on yourself. Like, yes, you do need a regimen. Yes, you do need a there needs to be a regimen. There needs to be some sort of discipline in there. But like for me, I'm like I said, I'm not an extremist. So if something feels too restrictive for me, I'm not going to do it. So allow yourself those, expansion areas, but just stick to a regimen, stick to it. And don't be so hard, like, oh man, I had a French fry today, and then you're ready to just quit the whole program. Like, and like that's not, so that's what I would really say. Just yes, come up with a regimen and stick to a routine, but don't try to put yourself into too many barriers or restrictions, because that's probably just going to end up messing you up.
Yeah. What are some of your weaknesses right now? Like, what are some of your weakest, like what are some of your trigger foods, things of that nature?
Honestly, I've gotten a lot better.
This is a straight bait question, by the way.
No, but I've gotten better because I used to have a major sweet tooth. I love cakes and rolls and all that. And honestly, I don't know if it's just that my palate is changing or I just can't stomach it as much. Like I still will have like a craving for something sweet or like a piece of cake or something like that. But like I'll get it and then only take a couple bites of it and be like, all right, I'm good. And I mean, some people may call me wasteful because I do that a lot. I will go like, because I'm craving something, I'll order it or buy it. And then I won't eat it all. Like I'll just eat a couple pieces of it or a bite of it because it satisfies me. At that point, it's like, all right, I got what I needed. I don't need to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Like what's funny? I did that the other day. Like I bought, like my son had some Doritos. Eli had some Doritos. And he had like left a little bit of the bag, and I just wanted to taste of the Doritos. So instead of like going and eating a whole bag of Doritos, I just finished off that little piece, and I was good. Like I had like 3 Doritos, and just sometimes just curving that taste for wanting and not feeling bad over what you do. Like, you don't want to be like eat guilt, right? And a lot of the times that's so unhealthy, or a lot of times people feel like that, but it's so unhealthy to feel like that when you don't really take into account the entire picture.
Yeah.
Right. And when you are doing the entire picture and you look back, how did my week go? Right. I did well all week. I can afford to take the opportunity to eat some Doritos or, just take a break or just feel like myself, because the more what I learned about myself is the more I restrict myself and the more I deprive myself from the things that I want, the more I crave them and the more I like indulge or overindulge.
Overindulge. Yeah.
So when I have it, it's like I don't eat one. I want to eat all of it, right? Like I don't eat one bag. I want to eat 2 bags of Doritos because
that's what messes you up. Yeah, because it's almost like when you tell them don't touch. Like it's like a temptation. Like when you say you can't do something or you can't have something, that makes you want it more. So if you stop telling yourself like I can't have that, just be like, oh, I really want some ice cream, or I really want this or whatever. Like honestly, by the time I get around to it, I either forget about it or, like I said, when I get it, I take a few bites of it and I'm like, okay, I'm good. So it's like, because I didn't restrict myself. It's like I can have what I want when I want.
And it's a whole mindset shift too, because of the fact that you know that you can have what you want and still see results, right? Because you're doing it in moderation, and 90% of the time you're doing things the right way. You don't really, it's not something that you are like driving towards when it's time to get it. Like Saturdays, everybody knows I love my burgers. My burgers, my way back burgers, I have it then. Midweek, I may want something and I'll do it, right? Like I may want something else and I'll do it, but I'm not really like wanting, like today, like they ordered like in the house we had Chick-fil-A. I didn't have any because I was like, I'm not really wanting.
That's not your thing, yeah.
Right, like what I mean, like but before I would have Chick-fil-A. Today, I would have way back on Saturday. I would have pizza on Saturday night, right? Like that's how it was before. But now it's like, do you really want Chick-fil-A? No, right? Like, can you do without it right now? No. But if I really wanted it, I would do it, right? Yeah. So it's a great and a really empowering feeling to have, to know that you have options because you're not really limiting yourself from what you can have. Exactly. It's times where you feel like, like I can't have this. And the minute you hear something ring off that you want, it's like you deep dive into it and it's so hard to, and then you feel like this instant, as you're eating it, you're like guilt, guilt,
Mm-hmm.
like, shame.
Yeah, shame, exactly. Game of Thrones shame.
Shame.
Exactly. And then you just end up like going into this spiral where it's just like, oh well, forget it. Well, like, no. Well, then it's like, well, all the hard work that you have.
And Dre had Chick-fil-A. That's who had Chick-fil-A. And Dre Eli had Chick-fil-A. That's who had Chick-fil-A.
Well,
I was trying not to snitch, but since you put it out there you go. But yeah, so I mean, it's super empowering. But I don't tell you too much things too often. I don't. It ain't too often. I'm gonna give you, because normally time we talking trash. Vic is a Virgo like myself, so yes, V's up. That's why she don't do everything everybody else do, because
what?
we do. I was like, that's why you don't do all the other challenges, because you don't follow the pack. You're a Virgo. Libras, and I don't know what the hell Tiff is.
Leo,
yeah, they do that kind of foolishness. But anyways,
woke up for you.
What I would say, I woke up and I chose violence right now.
Both chose it.
But I will say that I am proud of you because of the fact that
thank you
that you have lost the weight without a lot of my. We've had these conversations, and I just kind of backed off and then just kind of like let you do your thing. Because you would, have this self-talk, and I'd be like, don't talk about yourself like that. That's dumb. Don't say stuff like that. And then you'd be like, well, this is how I feel. Vic always used to say, I'm fat. And I'd be like, stop. I'm like, yeah, you are, because you keep saying that you are. Right. So, but I've seen that change, and I see the progression, and I'm proud of you for that, because it is not an easy thing to do. Especially when you got a lot going on as well, and you come from a background of, just looking at yourself and seeing yourself in a certain way. So
yes,
just keep pushing, keep working, and keep showing up. And tell everybody when your podcast comes out, or do you have a schedule for that, or you just post stuff whenever?
I just post stuff whenever, but there are episodes available for you to listen to if you go search the V List Podcast, and on Instagram it's just at V List Podcast. Links there. You can listen on, wherever you listen to podcasts, really. Amazon. Amazon? Did I say Amazon, Lord?
Yeah.
Is it on Amazon? Okay, Amazon. Google. Yeah, Google, Apple, Spotify, Anchor, pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts. You can just search the V-List Podcast and listen to the episodes.
Give them your social media handles.
So on my podcast social media is at V-List Podcast. And then my personal is just Victoria and Njideka. So you'd have to find me on Facebook to see that by my middle name. So yeah. I'm gonna keep on going on this journey. And if y'all see me with a big old, peach by the end of the summer, just mind you.
I'll add Dr. Miami, because that's where she got it from.
No, for real, I'm not gonna get no surgery. I'm too scared. But I will get lipo.
Yeah, no, stop it. We're not doing that.
Just on my little stomach. Just a little pouch on my stomach. It's just a little pouch.
You ain't doing that.
That I can't get rid of. I mean, it's in there.
Just give some to Tiff.
Tiff don't need no. Tiff don't.
Get some to Tiff. All right.
Anyway.
Where? She said where.
You can have it. We'll be on the table next to each other. They can transfer my face.
No, y'all not going to no surgery places or nothing. I refuse. I rebuke for my sisters to go to any surgery places. It's not happening. It's not.
All I'm saying is, if I find a sugar daddy to pay for it,
I'm going. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yo, thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to join us every Friday. Let me get her off of here real quick. Join us every Friday at 1 p.m. And make sure you guys share it. And I'm going to share all our social media handles again. Like I said, that's my sis, and I love her to death, so we talk like that. But this has been a good call. Make sure you like, comment, love, all of that good stuff. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Follow us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and my IG handle is right here at the bottom, and Facebook. So thank y'all for watching. As usual, next week I'll have another one of our members on. And man, we got some dope stuff coming up. So I'm really, really excited about this. Looking to take this podcast a little bit further than I have. Bringing on some experts on here as well, and doing some different things with that. But yo, thank y'all for always coming through and always supporting. And love y'all and see y'all next week. Peace.